Hello guys and welcome back to Inside the Storm. This is your podcast for everything Newport FC. I'm Zain. Today I'm joined by a really special guest. KJ, how are you?
Good, thanks Zain.
Welcome. Good, thank you. Welcome to the pod. It's a pleasure to have you on. We've been talking about this for a little while, so
I'm excited.
We're very happy to have you on. Firstly, let's just jump into give them at home who maybe don't know you a little bit of an introduction about yourself.
Alright, so my name's KJ. My full name's Khaled James Abdi. That's why everyone calls me KJ for anyone that didn't know. I'm currently taking the under-9s and training the under-12s. We've had a good run so far. We're undefeated. We've won every game pretty much by at least 4 or 5 goals.
Yep.
So we're doing pretty good. There's still things for us to work on as a team. I'm working with a new group of boys this year, so there's fundamentals that you try and work on as well as trying to get them the win at the end of the day, because I think at least it develops that sort of hunger to play and that competitive sort of edge. But yeah, so far it's been really good.
And obviously you have you're relatively new to coaching, right? But you have quite a long playing career as well, didn't you?
Relatively, yeah. I played for a long time. Played NPL in Victoria with South Melbourne for a while. And then I had the chance to go overseas and play in Spain for a little bit too, which was good. But coaching was new for me. Coaching, I probably started about 3 years ago with Newport Storm.
Yep.
Takes a lot of patience working with
kids,
absolutely. Especially some of our boys, but no, it's good.
What got you into coaching? What was the kind of idea behind that?
To be completely forthright, it was my dad. He really gave me a push to sort of give back to the community.
Yeah, sure.
As most parents will know, it's a big investment sort of backing your kid in any sort of sporting career. So he figured, and he spoke to me about it, and I completely agreed. It's a really good way for us to kind of give back to the community, but also pave a way for some other kids to maybe have the same opportunity. So that was important for us. It was really good.
Because for you, you're local to the area, right?
Absolutely,
so the club is very...
So that's probably the biggest reason why I joined the club, and I try to be a part of the club as much as I can, because we're all local, because I can almost relate to the kids so much.
Sure.
And it's one of the reasons why I get along with most of the kids.
Yep.
And it's good fun knowing how to relate to some of the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, 3 years we obviously get to watch some of your highlights, and we see you're very passionate on the sidelines. And I guess it's really important to have someone like you at the club, as someone who's a local and who's kind of, done it to a high level for a lot of the, it's the goal of a lot of the kids. Will you be playing seniors for us at any time? Or?
I would have loved to. I don't think my schedule allows it. It's just too busy.
Sure.
Just with work and all the rest of it. I would have loved to, but
Serge is always looking for an assistant. You could throw your hat in that.
Nah.
But what's your sort of long-term plan with your kind of coaching, and because it's relatively new still?
I'd love to just continue helping the youth at this sort of level.
Sure.
Just continuously, because I feel like I can really just help them develop a love for the game. But at the same time help them get better so that they can sort of keep going with that sort of love. And just giving boys an attitude, sort of an avenue of playing soccer that they wouldn't have had otherwise, realistically. The only few sort of bigger clubs in the area are very ethnically based, and especially with our Lebanese sort of community. I think having a club for us specifically, where you can have someone from the community like myself relate to the boys and speak to the boys, and even discipline the boys to an extent.
Sure, yeah.
I think it helps a lot. Like, I get along with the boys the way some of the other coaches don't, because I can relate to them. Mm-hmm. I remember being that age. I remember sort of...
Absolutely.
And I remember what coaches I took to the best. So I've kind of tried to implement that as well. And I think it works with the boys.
Yeah, no, 100%. Doing really well. For you as well, I think it's... you have such an insight that, a coach coming from outside wouldn't have, and obviously knowing the area, but, I assume you know a lot of the kids' families as well and stuff
absolutely.
Like that. So it helps that
I've got like 4 cousins on my team.
Yeah, how is that actually coaching?
That's even better, because I can be as firm as I want. I know their parents. But no, it's good.
Fair. Is the plan for you eventually to take up a higher position at the club? Is that something you'd be interested in eventually?
I'd be interested in it a little bit further on down the line. I work full time. It's a little bit hard with that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I do genuinely love this club, and I think it is such a good opportunity for the boys that I don't think I'd be able to turn anything down. It's such a good opportunity, especially with our seniors performing so well and doing so well, and some of our youth teams doing exceptionally. Our 13s last year smashed
Yeah, yeah.
everything. So I think we do have a massive sort of opportunity here in this little pocket of the Inner West to really establish a decent team.
You've been here for about 3 years now, right? You mentioned. So,
Yeah.
what would you say? Have you identified as like, you've seen that kind of growth? What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in those 3 years and those evolutions?
Probably structure. At the beginning, it was real and completely understandable. It was a brand new club. They were learning a lot of things. But now we've got a structure around training sessions and even like a culture, which is awesome. And it's developed really quickly.
Yeah.
Some of the guys at the team, in the club, Nick, yourself, Ziggy, or everyone, they've really sort of established themselves as a proper club with a culture, with a sort of idea and a thought process behind it as to what they want to achieve.
Sure.
And I think it's awesome. It's really seriously impressive.
Yeah.
And they've done extremely well so far.
And what would you say are the big goals for you, maybe not just you personally, but for the club in the next 5 years? Where do you think that the heights of the club can get to in the next 5 years?
I think realistically, grounds would be awesome, some lights, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But that aside, if we can really cement a couple younger youth teams, say, take my under-9s teams, if we could take an under-9s team and work with that group of boys all the way up to, say, under-13s or 14s,
Sure.
I think we'd have some really serious contenders. But even beyond that, because we're such a young club, we could at least give these boys a chance to seriously develop and then pass them on to better clubs, whether it's Victory, City, Western United,
Sure.
even an NPL team. But I think we have the opportunity to do that and at least establish ourselves, maybe partner, sister with another club.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's exciting. I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
And you mentioned this. What are your thoughts on the senior team this year so far and how they've gone? And I mean, have you gotten to watch any of the games or?
I've seen bits and pieces. From what I have seen, they're doing well. Like, Serge has done the right thing. He's probably looked at it and said, there's a certain standard of football being played in their division, State League 5.
Yep.
And so he's just come in and been effective. And I mean, that's exactly what we're after. Being a young club, we need to climb that ladder as quickly as possible. And he's done that, which is awesome.
And for you this year, you've also taken a different. Obviously, you've come in as a sponsor for the club. What's that been like, and what was your kind of thought process behind becoming a sponsor?
Again,
for the club?
that's just me, my family, my dad. We work for the local real estate agency, Biggin and Scott. That's just us wanting to back the team as much as possible, help in any way we can. I'm a volunteer here, so that's me personally trying to support the team in any way that I can. And then my dad's obviously just tried to sponsor and pay for anything else.
Sure.
To try and support the club and the team and the community at the end of the day.
Would you say that? I feel like that's one of the things that's really kind of special about the club is the fact that, you have so many, like we had Ziggy on a couple of weeks ago and he talked about how important volunteers are. But just in general, I feel like there's that culture of just collaboration and working together.
Absolutely. Nick's been phenomenal and so is Ziggy. They've been so supportive. Nick's the type of guy that I can go to and say, hey, Nick, I need a couple drills for the boys to work on these sort of things. And him having the coaching experience that he has, he'll just send me so many resources. So he's so good to fall back on in that sense. And Ziggy's just the guy you go to when you need help with anything, registration, all that kind of stuff. And he's just that consistent sort of person that's always there to help. And you need those sort of people in a club. Yeah, absolutely.
That backbone of supportive structure, right? Yeah.
In saying that though, all of the parents have been phenomenal as well. You'd be surprised how far helping set up, helping pack up, the parents have been absolutely amazing. So it goes a long way too. Yeah.
And I mean, they're kind of the unseen heroes, right? The ones you have to drive in for away games. And I'm sure your parents will know how that was. Well, KJ, thanks so much for coming on and chatting with us a little bit about Newport. We will have... we actually have a bye this week for the seniors. So normally we make our guests predict the senior results, but since we have a bye, do you want to predict your game's results this week?
We'll probably win 8-3 or something.
8? Okay,
We've been absolutely smashing.
We've seen in those highlights, and we've seen some 4-0, some 5-0, but 8. All right, I hope it happens. I hope so.
We should get the result.
Well, anyways, thank you so much for coming on the pod and for speaking to us and taking the time out of you're a very busy person.
Thank you.
If you want to say any last kind of message.
Just thanks to the club, everyone at the everyone behind the scenes, everyone, all the parents that have been helping as well, and to the boys as well that get around it. So yeah, thanks everyone.
And guys, if you need any kind of real estate stuff in the local area, speak to KJ. He'll sort you out always. All right, thank you so much, guys. We'll
Thanks,
see you
AJ.
next weekend. See ya.